Are you making these films for the young? Are you making them to reach young people today, or are you making them for old people? Who are you making these movies for? I'm making. I'm not making these movies. I don't know. I don't really know. That's a good question now. I thought I knew a few seconds ago. I was going to say something like, I'm making them for my peers. But am I really? I mean, I don't know anything about my peers at this point. I don't have much contact with my peers actually. So then I was thinking, maybe I'm making them for this imaginary audience of 90s teens, you know. Because I think that the pop stars of the early 90s were very fortunate to have my generation as the young audience. We were primed for that by 80s pop culture, and we were, moving into adolescence just as mainstream pop also moved into its adolescence in some way because it was targeting Gen X and attempting to define and appeal to this new generation. Um, it was spunky and, you know, a creatively vital period. Um, but I think that was largely due to the expectations of the young audience. That young people had a more kind of a very deep relation to music and art, I would say. That art was a truly transformative thing for many teens. I mean, I just feel like when you're a teenager, you're constantly reading these books, and they're just changing your entire worldview. You're learning so much. You're like a sponge at this time. Everything's new. It's exciting. It's like an intellectual childhood. It's the dawn of your, you know, reading and thinking and writing more deeply about these sorts of things. Um, and I would say that, so I think about that audience. But then I think, maybe you're just, I mean, it's sort of a parallel world kind of a thing, or you're creating a world. You're like trying to create an audience by imagining it into existence in some way. Um, or that you're not really necessarily doing it for the audience so much as you're just saying something in a dialogue. And I do see these films as, part of a general cultural dialogue that was going on at the time, and that is the teens, specifically the year 2013, which I would say was the year of the occult, the year of the witch, the year of the Bushwick occult revival, you could say, the year that Catland opened here in this neighborhood, the year that the New York Times and other publications were writing about an occult revival. I was making films throughout this period on this subject, interviewing some of the most interesting and seminal figures of the New York occult scene, um, having very incredible experiences with these guys. They told me some very interesting things, and I do see those interactions as magical, um, and those works as magical as well. Um, but it was, more about just kind of having this dialogue and dealing with this theme that we'd been working with in our film, The Gent, for some time.